Welcome to Elevated Entertainment, and today's video does include spoilers for all of the Thor movies and all of the Avengers movies, including Endgame. You have been warned. Today we're going to be doing One Marvelous Scene. For those of you who don't know, One Marvelous Scene is a compilation of YouTube videos made by YouTubers who pick a scene from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that they find particularly interesting or noteworthy, and they explain why it's one of their favorite scenes. And you may be wondering, Connor, why are you doing One Marvelous Scene? You have like 2 subscribers, and it's white noise. We did that leading up to Avengers Endgame to build up hype, and it's already been out for like 4 weeks, so you're a little behind the 8 ball. I get it, but the reason I'm choosing to do it now is because all of my favorite scenes were already done by other YouTubers, and there was a scene in Endgame that particularly stuck out to me. Before we do it, I do want to give some credit to a friend of mine, Daniel Bueller. He did mention some themes in this scene that stuck out to him, and it just kind of backed up what I was already thinking about doing. And I will be going over the character arcs of several different MCU characters over the next couple weeks, but today we're going to focus on Thor. So before we get to the scene from Endgame that I want to focus on, we'll be going over some common themes over his character arc throughout the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When we meet Thor in the first Thor movie, he has these creepy bleached eyebrows, and he is a very cocky young hooligan. He wants to go and battle different realms, and his decisions have consequences that affect other people. By the end of the movie, not much has changed. Sure, he's learned to be willing to sacrifice for others, but ultimately he's still the rambunctious, cocky warrior we met at the beginning of the movie. This transitions into Avengers, where we see his pride continue as he tries to learn to work with a team. Truthfully, he exudes this attitude throughout the movie as if he could do it without any of the other Avengers. And really, it's his problem anyway, because it's his brother who's come to Earth to cause all these problems.
People are so petty and tiny.
In Thor: The Dark World, we see him challenged for the first time as his mom dies. This is the first time we see his pride, his identity, his worthiness challenged. In Age of Ultron, there's not that much character development. There's a weird scene in a pool, and it's clear that he still sees himself as superior than the other Avengers because of his worthiness, because of his power.
You're all not worthy.
In Thor Ragnarok, we finally get kind of a different take on the character. A lot of the humor in Thor Ragnarok comes with the fact that he's kind of clueless. By the time we get to Avengers Infinity War, he has literally lost everything. His mother, his father, his home planet, and most of the Asgardians. He's lost his hammer. He's lost everything about his identity except for his chance to defeat the big bad Thanos. And he fails. One of the most controversial and shocking reveals of Endgame is Fat Thor. At this point, Thor has lost everything and he's given up on life. He's a drunk that likes to play Fortnite with his friends. He just doesn't care anymore. And as the Avengers go on a time heist to get all the Infinity Stones, Thor has to go back to Thor: The Dark World right before his mother dies and gets a chance to speak to her again. And this is the one marvelous scene I wanted to talk about. It stuck out to me as a very quick scene that flashes by in the movie, but a very important one. And it's where Thor reaches out to get his hammer. He has his hammer back, and he says, "I'm still worthy." And he says this in shock. He's surprised to find that he's still worthy and he can still wield the hammer after all the mistakes he's made and after all that he's lost. See, his mom tells him that nobody succeeds at being who they're supposed to be, and he should simply focus on being who he is. In this conversation, it's revealed that Thor's worthiness didn't come from his performance, whether or not he failed or succeeded. His worthiness came from his identity as Odin's son. See, this worthiness was bestowed upon him by somebody else. Now, there are a lot of places where this parallel falls apart. Odin is revealed in Thor Ragnarok to not have the greatest character. He made plenty of mistakes as well. But there are some parallels that we could look at when it comes to the Christian faith. Now, maybe you've made it this far in the video and it's your first time watching anything from this channel and you're like, uh-oh, he's about to preach at me. I thought I was just watching an Avengers video. Well, this is what we do at Elevated Entertainment. We look at popular movies and we see how it parallels with philosophical ideas, with religion, and particularly with the Christian faith. And I think trying to find our worthiness and our identity and our performance is something that we all struggle with. But the fact is, I've learned personally that no matter how hard we strive to find our identity and our performance and in all of the things that we've done, that it'll never, ever be enough. I've found that it's only when we place our trust in Christ and put our identity in Him, recognizing that we will fail, we will never be good enough, that we can find true fulfillment and satisfaction. When our worthiness and our righteousness is bestowed on us by God, the only person who can give us worthiness and righteousness, and in what His Son did on the cross, then we can finally find fulfillment and satisfaction. See, the great irony of the Christian faith is that true freedom is ultimately found in the form of surrender. Thor realized that he would never be good enough to be worthy, that his worthiness was a gift that was given to him. And it's a really powerful parallel as we try and find identity and worth in our own life. If you like this video, I encourage you to go subscribe because we will be doing character arcs of all three main MCU Avengers. This week it was Thor. Next week we're going to talk about Captain America. And finally we're going to talk about Iron Man and their journeys throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I hope you enjoyed it and make sure to share your thoughts with us below.